Sunday statement draft. Myles, you're up.
Let me go with Patrick Mahomes. And I guess it's the obvious choice, but still, when you go through the offseason that the Kansas City Chiefs did to come out and to play as well as they did, you get 5 touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes. Man, I think that that's a pretty big statement, right? I mean, he wants to say that nobody thought he was going to be able to play in the NFL. Well, he really showed them yesterday.
I'm going to go Saquon Barkley. I mean, this is a guy who, and he plays a position that is conducive to injury. That's one of the reasons why you don't use the second overall pick in the draft on a running back, because he had a great rookie season, 2,000 yards from scrimmage. But then you start getting injured. It was an ankle. I remember that Tampa Bay game in 2019, and then the ACL, and you're fighting your way back, and it's a tough position to play. He's in a contract year. There was some talk maybe they would trade him. He's got himself in that Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, everyone doubts me mindset. They're all blaming me. They're all picking on me. He had 164 rushing yards on 18 carries yesterday, and a touchdown and that 2-point conversion. And if Saquon Barkley stays healthy and performs like he did yesterday, the Giants are a team that needs to be taken extremely seriously in 2022.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, I mean, I got a lot of respect for what he's been able to do. I mean, and like, look, that's not an easy spot for him to be in. And you know what? He took advantage of every single opportunity. So yeah, credit to him for sure. It's a big statement. Next one for me would be Khalil Mack. You know, he's making his debut for the Chargers, gets 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, got a forced fumble on strip sack. I mean, he was pretty dominant. And he's the Khalil Mack that came into the league with the Raiders and that we started expecting to see. And it was, you know, a perennial defensive player of the year candidate. Now he's bookending things with Joey Bosa. I talked to him in the locker room and I asked him after the game, like, hey, does it still mean a little extra when you play the Raiders? And he said, yeah, of course it does. That's the team that drafted me. You know, I still have some friends over there. Not everybody is still there that I used to know, but yeah, does mean a little extra. So we'll see what he does in the second matchup later. But that was certainly a statement by Khalil Mack yesterday.
We've already talked about the Vikings, but I can't leave them off of the Sunday statement draft. The Vikings offense, that comment from Adam Thielen resonates with me. He was there the entire Mike Zimmer time, and he said he's never been part of an NFL offense that is attacking and attacking and attacking, and that bodes so well. When you consider Mike Zimmer had no involvement in the offense, every year it seemed like the offensive coordinator was either fired or quit or just walked out the door because they couldn't take Zimmer anymore. Different vibe, different world, different time. And it proves my theory that it's always better to hire an offensive head coach, because if things go really well and you're a defensive guy, your offensive coordinator is going to get hired somewhere else like Pat Shurmur did after 2017. This bodes very well for the Vikings now and in the future. What they did yesterday, what Kevin O'Connell is doing, and what they can keep doing as the season unfolds. All right, Sunday statement time. Round 3, Myles Simmons, you're up.
All right, let me go with Kevin Stefanski and Cade York for the Cleveland Browns for keeping the Browns in it. You know, they obviously blew their lead. It looked like everything was going to go wrong, but Kevin Stefanski, that coaching staff, they understood, hey, we need to get to the 40-yard line. They did it. Cade York, rookie 4th-round pick, comes in, booms a 58-yard field goal, and the Browns get a win.
And that really was unexpected. And here they are, 1-0, 10 more games without Deshaun Watson. Let's see how many more they can win. I'm going with A.J. Brown, the new Eagles receiver. Big acquisition, the draft day surprise. We're paying attention to Deebo Samuel getting traded, and instead it's A.J. Brown. He had 10 catches for 155 yards with a long of 54. For an offense that last year pivoted toward run-centric because they just didn't have the passing options. Now, Jalen Hurts, good friend A.J. Brown is there. Great start. Although it was weird. It was just like week 1 last year. Remember when the Lions were down big to the 49ers and then they did the backdoor cover? It ended up being a lot closer than it should have been. That should be one of those newspaper scores where the Eagles should have blown them off the field, but it ended up being a lot closer. But the Eagles did what they had to do offensively, and A.J. Brown, so far, a great return on the investment.
Yeah, no doubt. And frankly, that's exactly what you would expect out of A.J. Brown. What I didn't expect was no catches from Devontae Smith. and that got me in trouble with one of my friends in their fantasy team. But, things happen.
38-35 was the final score of that game for the Eagles over the Lions. It was just one of those weird ones. There were so many games yesterday that just felt weird, and then they got very compelling, and it was a great first Sunday. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.